Pennsylvania. And by the way, I just having a good time reading the weather this morning out in this area. They're talking about what's known as a nor'easter, a storm that comes up and hits the northeastern coast, and they're talking about a bomb cyclone, which I just love that language. That just sounds so epic in many ways. There's got to be a way I can work that into a sermon. So we'll see. We'll see on Sunday. So wonderful to have you here today. And today we're continuing on with the story creation, looking at it again allegorically. And thank you folks for so many of the nice comments that are texted in or left as part of the chat. It's wonderful to hear people share and it creates like this little sense of community. And this is the internet at its best. I really do believe these kinds of conversations that many churches, synagogues, mosques, etc. have online, like what we share here today. So thank you for joining me. And what we're going to do today is look at this very simple line. And so light's been created. Light is the first thing that is created. It's the first thing blessed. And then we're on to this line. And there was evening and morning, and there was evening and there was morning the first day. There was evening and there was morning and there was the first day. So yesterday we talked about this idea that God kind of makes this distinction. Part of our growth is when we see God working through our lives to help us make a distinction between light and darkness, between light and darkness. And that distinction is really important. I remember, way back when, for many of you know this, I was a public high school teacher for a long time. Loved that career. And there was a moral philosophy by the last name of Kohlberg. And he said the challenge with the adolescent mind is they believe in what he called naive egalitarianism. So there was no distinction between light and dark, that it was all okay, it was all fine, it was all based on someone's opinion, and who am I to ever tell someone else what to do? And there is, obviously there's some real truth to that, right? Because especially in religious spheres, a lot of time we're all about telling people what to do. And that is about as off-putting and oftentimes mean-spirited as you can get. And it also is important to remember that it's not all a muddy middle. It's not all not everything's okay. And that we have to make these distinctions on occasion. Let God help us to make these distinctions between light and dark. And those distinctions, folks, are so important because those distinctions, if they're done well, they're not divisive. I want to say that again. If they're done well, they're not divisive. What they are is unitive. So Martin Luther King famously distinction between light and dark. And he does that with his most famous speech, I Have a Dream. Now, again, that's I'm sure some people were totally offended by that speech because there's always crazy outliers. But there's no way you can read that speech and see it as a tome of divisiveness. It is not. It is a call to the higher, better angels of our nature. And it clearly is making a distinction at that same time between light and dark. I read this morning thinking about you folks, and I thought this was a beautiful line, that our hope is for a leadership for us to all practice a leadership, and get you the quote here, where we have a shared faith in each other. That line is beautiful. A shared faith in each other, a shared faith in each other. When we can come to it from that shared faith in each other, that can actually become a certain form of distinctiveness. That's where we can distinguish between light and dark. Because if it doesn't exhibit a shared faith in each other, that's probably a lot of the time going more to the dark side of things. And when it does exhibit and call us to a shared faith in each other, that kind of is leaning over here towards the light side of things. What would be an example? Well, we lost a wonderful parishioner recently, and I was over visiting her husband. We were talking about the memorial service. We're going to be doing the memorial service with a rabbi she was particularly close to, and it's not going to be till the spring. And it was just this beautiful conversation with this rabbi, right? And if for us as a pastor and a rabbi to have this work, we've got to both have a shared faith in each other, right? That this will work. We'll figure it out, and we'll serve the family well, and we'll serve God well doing that. And that's really good. And that is a form of God distinguishing, I think, between light and dark. It's not just distinguishing, saying, well, you can't have a Christian pastor and a Jewish pastor on the same, but no, it's not that at all. It's saying, no, there's this shared faith in each other, and that's where we can move things forward. So, folks, just think about that for today. Where is this again? It gets back to that little bit of yesterday's theme too. Where is this distinguishing in your life between light and dark? And just sort of check yourself. Is it centered around divisiveness? If it's centered around divisiveness or divisiveness, tomato or tomato, it's probably not of God. Interesting, interesting little, guys know I like geeky word things. Interesting little geeky word thing, the word to divide or divisiveness in the New Testament is rendered the word diabolical. So there you go. There's your word for the day, right up there with the word the word sarcasm means to tear flesh. So you learn some of that language, it'll change how you use those words in a hurry. So that's what I'm going to offer to you folks today. Just find that way again. Allow God to move through your heart with this thing that is able, and feel that clarity around. Yeah, I'm going to be able to distinguish between light and dark, and feel that part that's moving over here towards the light. And just make sure as you do that, as you're moving towards the light, ready for this, folks, that you're bringing other people along, that you're bringing them along. If you're leaving them behind, probably not the kind of distinguishing that God would have you do. It's certainly not the kind of distinguishing that Jesus practiced by any stretch. So that's the good thought for today, folks. May you have a beautiful day. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do our little meditation. We're going to do our little prayer. We're going to do our little blessing. After those things, I will say hi to folks on Facebook Live. You can go on to New Church Live's Facebook page. If you go onto New Church Live's Facebook page, you can leave a comment there. I will respond to that online if you're joining us the first time. The other comments that get left on my Facebook page or on YouTube or Vimeo or homepage, those kind of other places, I will get to those at a later time. So with that, friends, let's all get a big breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and bring you peace and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends. Well, again, great to have you joining me this morning. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at any comments. Again, you can leave comments on New Church Live's Facebook page, and I will respond to those. And just as always, folks, like with anything, feel free to reach out to me anytime. We can always hop on a Zoom call or a phone call. In this day and age, that is pretty much the norm. So we got lots of folks who live all over the place, and I am more than happy to help in any way possible. And it's taking a little while to load here. All right, here we go. So our comments for today, almost there, almost there, almost there. A lot of comments today. Thank you for leaving them. Um, all right. Mike, good morning to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Martha, good morning to you. And I don't know whether you ever get a bomb cyclone out there in Michigan, or whether you're able to say that word out there in a weather forecast, but it makes it a little exciting out here. Susan, great to have you joining us, my friend. Patty, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope today has a little more light and peace to it. Kim, good morning to you, my friend. Marcus, always great to see you, buddy. Linda writes, I have a dream is definitely a call for unity, a shared faith in each, even those who harbor prejudice, even those we find challenging to like, let alone love. What you're talking about there, Linda. It's so true. It is always a challenge. Yeah. Some people are definitely, definitely are, yeah, our opportunity to learn to be more Jesus like, you might be a way to say it. And yeah, shared faith in each other really is something to think about, folks. Like that call, like, hey, we have to have a shared faith in each other. Like it's that. It's like, what are you going to say to that? Uh, it's just such a beautiful line. Paige loves that line, shared faith in each other, and being a wordsmith as you are, Paige. I would imagine you'd love it, because I love when I read that. I just thought, oh man, that is spot on. Chad, I'm glad your dog joined us too. Chad's in a small group, and it's fun because you get to watch several dogs join the small group as well. They get a chance to share too, obviously. Linda writes, moving toward the light, where there's darkness in me, let there be light. So true. Ray, my dear buddy, writes, good morning. The sun is up and so am I. And Ray, you are a sunny personality, and it's always wonderful to have you joining us. Great message, counteracts the divide that social media draws out. Keep preaching. Yeah, and it's interesting, Mary, the way social media works, and it was this little aside, when I went to the Eagles Dallas Cowboys game, and it was like vicious, like literally saw a guy pour beer on another guy's head. I thought that only happened in movies. It was so toxic, and with between the fans. And I thought, this is the internet. Like, you want to know what the internet looks like in people? Go to that kind of game and you get to see it. So anyhow, and George again joining us from Africa. Thank you for your message, and thank you for joining us, George. So friends, just wishing you all the best. God bless. Have a great day. Sure do enjoy you folks joining me in the morning and throughout the day and throughout the week for these little chances for us all to share a little insight and a little 10 minutes of calm. So God bless, guys. Take care. We'll see you. Bye-bye.